And if you notice, there's 2 exits in the back in case of emergency and 1 up front. We'll start with a pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, peaceful, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence for all those in harm's way in the path of hurricane Ian and Florida. Thank you.
And know what?
Is it not streaming?
We're live, correct?
Yeah, TV's just on. Oh, the TV.
Oh, the TV's down. We don't have anything on the TVs tonight. If anyone would like to speak on behalf of any of the agenda items previous to starting, you're more than welcome to. No one out here? Okay. Before we start the meeting, I want to apologize. Number 7 is being removed. We have 2 budget workshops. We'll discuss those in a little bit. We'll start with Counselor White.
Approval of abstracts. Move for the adoption of a resolution approving abstract numbers 35 dated 8/30/2022 and number 36 dated 9/6/2022.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Wish to vote no or abstain? Passed.
Budget modifications and transfers. The Cicero Town Board approves the budget modifications and transfers as presented.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Wish to vote no or abstain? Passed. We'll have the presentation of the 2023 tentative budget. The budget was filed in the town clerk's office on September 26, 2022, and is on the town website under 2023 budget at www.ciceronewyork.net. And at this time, I'll let Comptroller speak on behalf of that.
Good evening.
Nope.
There, as the supervisor stated, the Thank you. As the supervisor stated, the complete budget is available on the website. It's flashing. Yep. There you go. Not a good omen. As the supervisor stated, the total budget is available on the website, or copies are also available in the clerk's office. What we've presented tonight is a summary of what the total budget is, as well as a summary for each fund's expenditures, and the special districts are in the handouts that were available tonight. The big number, as everyone looks to the bottom, is the increase in the taxes levied at 4.99%, or almost 5%. This is using $590,000 of our fund balance. In order to meet the tax cap, we would have to use $1,030,000 of our available fund balance. Now, the state gives us a 2% tax cap. The state knows very well what inflation is like. The government knows well. To give us a 2% tax cap when our costs are going up 10, 12, 15, whatever percent, depending on the commodity you're looking at, is just going to end up making the town use all of the fund balance until there's no fund balance left. And then we're going to have to raise taxes by an astronomical amount. So that's the big movement. we've gone over with the department heads and their budgets are tight. To go through each line item in the budget saying we're going to take $1,000 here, $5,000 there is not really going to affect this. It's not going to make for savings. We need $430,000 to reach the tax cap, and we don't want to use all of our fund balance. It's a summary. Butter. According to the news, the day before yesterday, the price of butter has gone up 24% in 13 months. How am I supposed to butter my bread when I only have 2% to work with? I'm going to have to go to margarine. Is that what the town wants? Margarine instead of butter? I heard that.
Mhm.
But that's the kind of, that's what we're facing now is high inflation, and the state just arbitrarily, all right, you get 2% or inflation, whichever is lower. I would love 2% inflation. Thank you.
Thank you, Elka. Number 6, Counselor Carp. Stop back to Paulo.
Move the adoption of a resolution to set a public hearing on October 12th, 2022 at 6:30 PM to consider the submission of an application for a Restore New York grant to Empire State Development Corporation for the revitalization of the former location of the South Bay Fire Department located 8819 Cicero Center Road, parcel number 080.02-02-07.1 that will transform the site into a community center to benefit town residents and is compatible with local ordinances. This public notice will include the following property assessment list, which is part of the record now. This resolution also authorizes the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to carry this resolution into effect.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
First vote no, or abstain, passed.
Move the adoption resolution to set a public hearing on October 26, 2022 at 6:30 PM at 8236 Brewerton Road to consider local law amending chapter 210 of the town code. If passed, this will be local law number 5 of 2022.
Second. Discussion?
This is going to be part 1 of what will turn into a long-running comprehensive reform of our zoning ordinances. Again, this is just the beginning. We're going to start with some minor adjustments, some clarifications of some definitions and some adjustments of penalties and fines.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
First vote no, or abstain, passed.
Robert, on number 9, this doesn't need to be a motion. It's just an announcement of our budget workshops, correct? All right. Okay. Thank you so much. So 2023 preliminary budget workshops, move the adoption resolution to schedule town board workshops for the 2023 preliminary budget, including the fire protection contracts and special districts for Monday, October 17th, 2022 at 5 PM and Monday, October 24th, 2022 at 5 PM held at Cicero Town Hall, 8236 Brewerton Road, Cicero, New York.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. Jermaine, we're not 100% certain we will need 2 of these. So if they are published as public workshops, we can still cancel the second one, correct? Yeah, I understand that. Is there a procedure for canceling or you just have to make a public notice? Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, Tracy, I appreciate your help with setting these up. Thank you so much.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
First vote no, or abstain, passed.
Move the adoption of resolution approving the service fee for ink fingerprint cards for the police department for $35 for a Cicero resident and $50 for a non-resident.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
First vote no, or abstain, passed.
Move for the adoption of a resolution approving the hiring of Brian Johnston as a full-time codes enforcement officer at an hourly rate of $28.71 per hour, effective October 17th, 2022.
I
Second.
would like a
Discussion. Is
I'd like
Brian
to make an
Johns-
amendment. Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, it's Brian Johnstone.
I second it as amended.
Yes. Any discussion?
No, that was just the correction.
All in favor?
Aye.
There's vote no. Or abstain? Passed.
Move for the adoption of a resolution approving change order number 2 in the amount of $3,005.30 to Davis Walbridge, Inc. for the Riverfront Park improvements. The revised project construction cost is $283,610.30. Change order number 1 was a no cost change order.
Second.
Discussion? Kate, anything on that? No? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
There's vote no or abstain? Passed.
Move the adoption of resolution approving the following staff members to the Parks Department. Steve Jones is a recreation leader, $50 an hour. Rebecca Jones is a recreation leader, $30 an hour. And Susan Jones as a recreation attendant at $14 an hour. All positions coded to B702013 and begin on October 13th, 2022.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Wish to vote no or abstain? Passed.
Move for the adoption of a resolution approving the expenditure of $9,025 to have Environmental Contracting Construction Services LLC remove asbestos pipe on Gillette Road, budget code DB 511242.
Second.
Discussion? This was some asbestos pipe that they did a job on Gillette Road, correct, Chris? Okay, thanks. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Wish to vote no or abstain? Passed.
Approve suit coat to Crackville. Move for the adoption of a resolution approving the expenditure of $10,300 to have Suit Coat Corp. Crackville newly paved roads and driveway ends and various crack sealing throughout the town. Budget code DB 511255.
Second.
Discussion?
This is from all the work from this year, correct?
And by the way, nice job.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wish to vote no or abstain? Passed.
Approve a 2023 International Grapple Truck. Move for the adoption of a resolution approving the Cicero Highway Department to order a 2023 International Grapple Truck with a 30-yard box from Navistar Inc. in the amount of $202,909.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, when do we expect this to come in, roughly estimating? Okay.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Wish to vote no or abstain? Passed.
Approve a 2023 six-wheel truck. Move for the adoption of a resolution approving the Cicero Highway Department to order a six-wheel international truck from Navistar Inc. in the amount of $118,106.
Second.
Discussion?
Again, late next year. Appreciate that, Chris. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wish to vote no or abstain? Passed.
Approve traffic sign material. Move for the adoption of a resolution approving the Cicero Highway Department to order 3M traffic sign material in the amount of $8,874.84. Budget code DB 33104.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Wish to vote no or abstain? Passed.
We'll now have a presentation from Stacy Taddeo of the CNY chapter of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, as this is National Suicide Prevention Month. Stacy?
Yes.
Yes. The button, yep. The button in the bottom. There you go.
There you go.
Working?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's all for me. My name is Stacy Taddeo. I work with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention on the local board. I'm also the walk chair for a local walk that we have coming up. It's called the Out of the Darkness Walk. It is next Saturday, October 8th. But I'm here in September because it is World Suicide. We just had World Suicide Prevention Day a couple weeks ago, but it's Suicide Prevention Month as well. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what we do in the community and the importance of, awareness and prevention in our town. So I'm going to start with a story. I've been going through the schools the last 4 or 5 years. I lost my brother to suicide almost 9 years ago, which is how I got into this work. And so the last 4 or 5 years, I have been, including this in my classroom, talking about suicide, talking about prevention, warning signs. Through our local chapter, we have been able to present to the junior high and the high school, every single student last year, every single student in 2019. So this past spring, I received an email from a mom who also teaches in our school district. And she was expressing her gratitude because her daughter, along with 2 or 3 other friends, were able to recognize warning signs in a friend who had sent a couple messages to them. The girls had talked about it and they realized this friend was in trouble. And because of their recognition, he had planned to take his life. They contacted who they needed to contact at the school, who was able to send 911, and they intervened. So as much as, that's one story that we've heard about, I know that there are more. And I think that it's working in our community, that these students, she thanked me. I had this student in class 3 or 4 years prior. She had been in the presentation as well last year. And, the parent thanked me that, and there's many more that we won't hear about. And while the suicide rate, the CDC will be releasing data on Friday that the suicide rate has once again increased for 2021. But I think that our efforts in the community are working. We're helping teenagers who right now have the highest climbing suicide rate from ages like 10 to 34. And so I think it's important for us to continue our efforts, raise awareness. If you can attend the local walk, we would be very appreciative. Spread the word, in particular, on social media. And the other thing I wanted to bring to attention is that this past summer, because of a large part of our advocacy, we now have a number, a hotline. It's 988, similar to 911. If you are in mental health crisis, if you're struggling, you dial 988 and there's a licensed mental health professional on the other end. So there are times where 911 can struggle to handle a mental health crisis or situation. 911 can be called if, from there, if you give a location. 988 does not currently track any location. I know there were some articles that were concerned about that. But you can call, it doesn't have to be necessarily a crisis, but if you're struggling, or if you're maybe a parent or a friend or a sibling of somebody who might be struggling, you can certainly call that number and they can help you search for resources in your area. They can give you tips. They can give you warning signs. So that's really important to know that we have that. And I think we're headed in the right direction, and we're giving the 988 hotline is telling us, it's just as important as a medical crisis. Mental health crises can be debilitating and can lead to death as well. So I'm just going to give you some of the warning signs that I'm hoping everybody can look for. As much as we think it won't ever happen in our family or in our friend group, unfortunately, some of us have learned that it certainly does. And, I know my family was completely shocked when it happened. And people would often ask, well, did you know? Did he show signs? And we were like, no, there was nothing. But shortly after, when I started doing this work, I learned, what, there were signs. I just didn't know them. And that's okay. That wasn't in my skill set at that time. But now it is. So this is something I make sure all my students know, my friend group. But things to look for are sudden changes in sleeping habits, sudden changes in diet, sudden changes in mood. This can be really tough, in particular with teenagers, because we know that they like to sleep a lot and they can be extremely moody. So we always tell people to look for a change that is lasting 2 to 3 weeks at a time. So if something is not getting better over 2 to 3 weeks, then that's time to intervene, call a doctor, get mental health treatment, start a medication, do something, different. Some other things to look for, you want to make sure, people aren't withdrawing. They might withdraw from friends, family. They might not be interested in activities anymore that used to be, something they love to do. And sometimes depression or anxiety can come out as anger. And then the typical depression we might see, which is crying, staying in bed, frequently. So just some things to look for. And I do want to remind everybody that contrary to what I thought, at the time of my brother's death, it is 100% acceptable to ask somebody if they're having thoughts of suicide. When I grew up, it was, ooh, we don't talk about that because you'll give them that idea. And through research, we've learned that that's not accurate. And there's almost a sense of relief at times if there is somebody who's thinking about it and you say, do you ever have thoughts of suicide? And people who have attempted and now work with AFSP for research have said, oh my God, when somebody asked me and I could just say yes, rather than come up with my own words and figure out how to say it, it was a huge relief that somebody understood me. So as much as this can be a dark topic, we want to change the conversation in the community, which is part of, our local Out of the Darkness walk. We want to start celebrating the strides that we have made and just making it more of an open conversation so that people feel comfortable to talk about their mental health. So that's it, unless anybody has questions. I did leave in the back some postcards for the walk, which has a QR code for registration and just a couple pamphlets as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, gentlemen? You got some discussion? Michael, you want to talk about the,
Yeah, after discussing with the town board, we are going to form a town facilities committee that will help evaluate all of our buildings, grounds, and properties to help put forth a plan and recommendations on how to maintain our facilities and plan a road for the future in terms of renovations and new construction. So an application process will be going out for people in the community to apply to be on that. And we hope to get that done in the coming weeks.
thank you, Michael. Anyone else? Thank you. Okay, we'll open up to public input. Would anybody like to speak tonight? No. Okay. Let's adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.